3, 2, 1, go! Welcome everybody to the unboxing and review of the highly anticipated brand new Huawei Mate 20X. This was the big surprise from Huawei's launch event this year. Huawei revealed to us the Mate 20 and Mate 20 Pro and even the new Porsche design Mate 20 RS, but nobody, including myself, saw the Mate 20X coming. This phone took most of my attention once it was revealed on stage, and now it's finally in the studio. We've got a lot to get through on this one and it's gonna be good. We've seen the Mate 20 Pro, but can its bigger brother, the Mate 20X, offer us anything else? Well, for one, it comes with this, the Huawei M Pen. You really want to stick around for this one, guys, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. Let's get started. So, this particular Mate 20X is the dual SIM international and unlocked variant, so this will work here in the UK on our 4G networks. This version comes with 128 gigs of internal memory and 6 gigs of RAM, as you guys can see at the bottom of the box. The colour of choice is midnight blue, and it's also available in phantom silver. And nice and easy, come on, let's get you out. Here we go, here it is. Now let's get it out and give you guys a quick sneak peek. My quick first impression, guys, the screen almost appeared bezel-less for a split second there, and I'll just give you a look at the back, and there's the glass back. It looks stunning upon first glances. Okay, so I'll move it to the side for now as we continue and check out the main contents of the box. Okay, so we can see a strip of barcodes and IMEI information, so I'll just move that out the way and just move the tray as well. Right, underneath we find the main cartridge where we can see our SIM ejector pin. So let's open this up and see what else we have. Inside is a plastic case, which is great. I'll check that out in a second. And we've got here our Huawei Quick Start Guide and warranty information booklet, as we normally find in our boxes. Put that to a side, so let's check the case out very quickly. We have here a clear transparent TPU case. Now this seems to be a signature trademark from Huawei. They always provide cases for the devices, and the trend continues with the Huawei Mate 20X. Moving on, starting off here is the 3-pin Huawei superfast charger. Now it's fast, but apparently not as fast as the one supplied with the original Mate 20 Pro. There is a bit of a difference there, but I'll come on to that when we do our charging tests. Subtle Huawei branding just above the USB port. Moving on, we have here the USB Type-C charging cable in white, just like my other Huawei cables. And look at this, we've got an included headset from Huawei to be used with our Mate 20X, as it does have a 3.5mm headphone jack. That for me has already put the Mate 20X ahead of nearly every other smartphone released this year. So, introducing the Huawei M Pen, exclusively for the Mate 20X. Now let's take a good look at this and take it out. Right, so we have here our handy quick start guide information. Obviously I'll just put that to a side. Nice. So certainly not as subtle in design compared to the S Pen from Samsung, that's for sure. Right, come on, let's give you a proper full inspection. First of all, I like the gunmetal carbon grey finish. It adds an overall distinct premium quality to the M Pen. Huawei branding just under the clip in a very light font. Towards the tip is the only button needed for the function of the M Pen. I'll do demonstrations of the features and functions later on. So a very fine tip indeed, which can be removed and replaced when needed. As you guys can see, you do get 2 spare tips in the box. Now the pen is a bit heavier than I thought it would be, but the build is very good and I genuinely like the overall feel and design. On the other side is the M Pen's charging port, which can be charged using a USB Type-C wire like we found in our Mate 20X box. Overall, it has a distinct look with the brushed metal grey, but can it function like the S Pen? Is it a quick copycat gimmick? That's what we'll find out, but let's get back to the Mate 20X. Now, the time you've been waiting for, let's check out the Huawei Mate 20X. This is on a whole other level right now, even better so than the Honor Note 10, which had a 6.9-inch display. The screen to body ratio on the Mate 20X is just simply phenomenal, and there on the back panel the midnight blue is shining through. Now obviously we've got to get the seal off. That was satisfying. And you know what else is satisfying? Wonder Mobile. I just want to give a huge shout out to Wonder Mobile for sending me out the stunning Huawei Mate 20X. Now I see many people asking me where I get my phones from. Your answer, Wonder Mobile, my friends. All smartphones are brand new, unlocked, signed, sealed, and delivered to you before you know it. Wonder Mobile is rated excellent 5 stars from independent reviewer Trustpilot, so you don't need to take my word for it. Guys, seriously, if you're in the market for a brand new smartphone and you want a safe, secure, and reliable experience, Wonder Mobile is my website of choice. Now I'll get back to the Mate 20X, but I'll pin a link below so you can visit the website in your own time and check them out for yourselves. Thanks again, Wonder Mobile, much appreciated. Now, back to business. So, you had a few seconds to check out the Mate 20X, and I think we all have to take a moment and just admire the sheer good looks of this phone. It simply looks amazing. The Mate 20X, welcome to the studio. The sheer size of this device just dwarfs everything you put near it. Its undeniably attractive glassback midnight blue finish is absolutely brilliant to say the least. Now, believe me when I say there's a lot to get through, but I'm gonna start off with one of the many unique selling points of the Huawei Mate 20X, which is its look and design. The Huawei Mate 20X features an outstanding 7.2-inch display with an almost near bezel-less design. It has arguably the best implementation for the notch, which uses this elegant water drop or teardrop like design. It genuinely works so well here and is much easier on the eye in compared to some of the other notches we find like on the P20 Pro or Mate 20 Pro itself. Here we have such large screen estate that a small teardrop notch simply doesn't interfere with your viewing experience at all. The Mate 20X in the hand is also surprisingly light. For my hands, the size is absolutely ideal and I completely welcome a 7.2-inch display due to the fact it will provide outstanding video entertainment either through Netflix or YouTube or whatever you use. It's ergonomic in its design and the device feels great to hold with a solid grip due to the newly engineered texture on the glass back design, which I'll show you in a second. Right, let's take a deeper look at this gorgeous glass back design. At the bottom we have the Huawei branding in its center, which reflects very nicely in the light. As we come underneath, on the left is one of the speaker grills. So the Mate 20X has dual stereo speakers, one here and one also at the top. In the center is the USB Type-C charging port for fast charge with two microphones side by side. On the left is simply our SIM ejector tray. As we come towards the top, on the right side is our top firing speaker grill. IR blaster in the center, which is a great bonus. Secondary mic on the left hand side with our legendary headphone jack as well. On the right side we have our power button, which has this coarse like texture with a red accent around it. It looks and feels great. And just above is our volume rocker. There is no dedicated GPU turbo button on this device like we find on the Honor Note 10. The reason being here is the Mate 20X has this feature built into its incredible architecture from within. So on the all glass back, Huawei have used a very similar coarse texture like they did on the Huawei P10 Plus if you guys recall. However, the method is more refined here and adds just a little bit more extra improvement for its grip. In addition, this also makes the glass back much less reflective and prevents the likelihood of many fingerprints showing up everywhere, which is a good addition as well. It's a great overall design implementation. It's certainly becoming Huawei's signature style by creating some of the most vibrant two-tone glass panels this year, like we saw on the Twilight P20 Pro and Mate 20 Pro. Instead, this time for the Mate 20X, they've kept a single color, which you can see is the wonderful midnight blue. From this angle as well, you may be able to see the texture as I mentioned. The back glass is curved compared to the front main screen, which is flat. As we move along the tall frame, we have the Mate 20X's fingerprint sensor aligned in the center. So as you know, the Mate 20 Pro is the first phone from Huawei to have the inbuilt fingerprint sensor, and they left that feature out for the Mate 20X. Is that much of a loss? I'll let you guys decide. So yes, this is many people's preferred placement of the fingerprint sensor. It's circular and big enough since it's such a big phone, but for my fingertip it reaches perfectly. There's no extra stretch for my hand and it's very reminiscent of the Mate 10 Pro, and that worked absolutely fine. Moving on, Huawei have redesigned their camera module on the Mate 20 series. Here we have the Mate 20X's triple lens Leica camera setup with AI programming. It's certainly a unique design compared to other flagships on the market, and it's good to see something new. It's a big shift as well from our familiar Huawei camera setup like we've seen on the P20 Pro early this year. So the new camera setup features this box-like orientation and I personally think it looks great. So in terms of specs, the main camera is a 40 megapixel RGB lens with an f1.8 aperture. The secondary camera is now a 20 megapixel ultra wide lens with an f2.2 aperture, which has replaced the monochrome sensor previously found on Huawei devices. These come supported by AIS, Huawei's AI stabilization. And the third camera is a 8 megapixel telephoto lens with 5 times optical zoom and optical image stabilization with an aperture of f2.4. The verdict is quite clear on how well these perform. It's an incredible camera both for photography and videography. If you'd like to see a camera comparison test, let me know down below. The Mate 20X from a visual standpoint, just based on the glass design and the camera module alone, makes this one of the best visually stunning phones I've seen and used to date. The overall design aesthetics demonstrates the level of precision and attention to detail Huawei put into all their smartphones nowadays, and I personally think they've got the competition beat in this department. Now it's time to power it on. Okay, I'm in, but I'll do a complete setup off camera and I'll be back. There it is everyone, behold, this is the king of Huawei smartphones for me in 2018. Let me be very clear, this panel is unbelievably impressive from what I can see in front of me. From the default theme they've used, it looks exceptionally vibrant and high in brightness and contrast. The level of detail here is simply brilliant. Even the teardrop notch rests perfectly without spoiling the screen, but my favourite design aspect on the Mate 20X is how Huawei have incorporated nearly bezel-less design. It gives you so much screen estate that this will blow your mind when consuming media content either through YouTube, Netflix or whichever thing you're going to use. It's the best display I've seen all year. It takes the #1 spot, hands down right now. So, the Huawei Mate 20X has an OLED display, hence the incredible screen clarity and colour vibrancy. Sources claim it has a screen to body ratio of 87.6%, when in reality from what I can see in front of me it looks well over 90%. It's unspecified which version of Corning Gorilla Glass we're getting here, but based on some sources, it's the Corning Gorilla Glass 5. It has a unique aspect ratio of 18:7:9 due to its sheer size in width and height. Now, as an OLED panel with default settings, you're getting a fantastically bright and vivid display out of the box. That's an understatement. The Mate 20X has a resolution of 1080 by 2244 pixels. Again, a very different type of resolution than we're accustomed to. This makes it a full HD Plus display, not a WQHD Plus display like the Mate 20 Pro. However, it's very difficult to discern or notice the clarity difference between these two resolutions at this range. It's also HDR10 compliant and is a certified signature device from YouTube. With high dynamic range, I'm expecting deep blacks and a vibrant colour range. I'll be conducting HDR and overall display quality tests against the very best flagships, so stay tuned for them. So far, the Mate 20X is ticking every box based on everything I've seen so far. Not only are you getting the greatest visual experience, but Huawei also claim to have created a fantastic stereophonic sound system to go along with it. In addition, you've got Dolby Atmos support built in, firing through the bottom and top stereo speakers. Huawei say you'll experience super high dynamic range up to 40 decibels, giving you an incredible immersive audio experience. So clearly, Huawei have set the Mate 20X out to be a very unique smartphone and ahead of the competition when it comes to multimedia and entertainment consumption. So, out of the box, the Mate 20X is ready with Android 9.0 Pie and Huawei's EMUI 9.0 also, the latest software to date. Huawei are pulling no punches here. They're working very close with Google to ensure their smartphones are fully optimized from launch date. This is almost the icing on the cake for this smartphone. With it being bundled together with the latest security patches and software updates from Google, it puts Huawei at the very top of the list in the Android smartphone space. But it only gets better. Overall, in terms of specs, the Huawei Mate 20X introduces the Kirin 980 chipset, the world's first 7nm processor, which supports faster Wi-Fi and data speeds. The Kirin 980 is also the world's first dual neural processing unit with the Cortex A76 architecture. Now that's a mouthful, but what it really means is that at its current form right now, as of late 2018, it's the best performing chipset on the planet. It's a huge milestone in mobile processing power, and it sets a benchmark for the future of 5G enabled Huawei smartphones coming in 2019. A massive accomplishment indeed. Well done, Huawei. The M Pen. Okay, I think I'll make a separate video to fully inspect the M Pen for all of its positives and negatives, and I'll also make a dedicated comparison to the S Pen from the Samsung Galaxy Note 9. However, I'll give you my overview and impressions of the M Pen, and it's good news. My first insights on its performance and verdict is that it's very intuitive and certainly not a gimmick or a quick add-on. Now, the tip doesn't feel as refined compared to the S Pen, as it makes a harsher impact on the screen as opposed to a soft and delicate touch of the S Pen. However, in terms of system navigation, it becomes a breeze once you adapt to it. It did not take me long before browsing through the Mate 20X became a simple and smooth process, much like the S Pen for the Note 9. Now here you can effectively see how I can cut through the YouTube app, open up the split screen menu, and continue browsing on whatever I like. Once you get accustomed to the M Pen, it does feel strange not using it after a while. Now I'll take that as a good sign, as this is the same experience Samsung users find when using the S Pen. So overall first impressions prove that the M Pen is an effective stylus and has good potential. It possibly may not be as refined as the S Pen, but I'll leave that for the full review of the M Pen versus the S Pen, but it's certainly better than I imagined it would be, and that is another plus for the Mate 20X. So as I mentioned right at the beginning, the Mate 20X is offering up internal memory of 128 gigs and 6 gigs of RAM, which is expandable to 256 gigs using the newly developed nano memory card from Huawei. Again, the first of its kind. In terms of the GPU on the Mate 20X, it has the Mali G76, which has built-in Turbo GPU 2.0 technology. According to Huawei, it means software and hardware work hand in hand to accelerate speed and power far beyond what you normally expect for the ultimate gaming experience. I mean, if Huawei can confidently pitch this product as a rival to the Nintendo Switch, then I'd take their word for it. For mobile gaming on the go, it packs enough power to handle high demanding titles with higher than average frames per second. But it does not end there. You want performance on the go too, right? Well, the Mate 20X has a 5000 mAh battery, which again blitzes essentially any full-fledged flagship smartphone. And if you think that is good, Huawei claim to keep the Mate 20X running extremely cool under high and intense usage. Huawei have created what they say features the world's first liquid multi-dimensional cooling system with vapor chamber and graphene film used in smartphones. This in result helps dissipate heat faster, keeping the Mate 20X super smooth, cool and under control at all times. I'm beginning to like this phone even more. Right, now clearly I've praised the Mate 20X very highly in terms of what it can truly offer. However, now it's time to look at some of the key drawbacks of the Mate 20X. If there are any, you don't have to look too deep to spot them. First of all, with the introduction of reverse wireless charging found on the Mate 20 Pro, you would suspect that this feature would be found here. Unfortunately not, there is no wireless charging altogether. Also, the Mate 20X settles for a splash-proof rating of IP53, not IP68. Now, for any other potential negatives, I find it very difficult to spot them. Now, potentially not everyone wants a large smartphone, but if you're like me and spend a lot of time watching YouTube or Netflix and you like to watch video content, then the Mate 20X is second to none in this field. It will be flawless. Even the notch can be toggled off if you think that becomes distracting. Now, you can argue that the AI is possibly intrusive at times when doing photography. However, once more, this can be switched off. Fundamentally, based on most of what could be considered a drawback is completely outshadowed by what good the Mate 20X offers in return. Personally, I think Huawei have absolutely nailed it, and as a fan of big smartphones in general, this is definitely going to become my daily driver. I possibly may even prefer the Mate 20X over the regular Mate 20 Pro. So overall guys, that was a lot to get through. However, I believe the Mate 20X is quite easily in my top 5, possibly even in my top 3 smartphones of 2018. Its uniqueness, style and design has it in a category of its own. The 7.2-inch OLED screen for me is the ultimate winner here. With a battery capacity of 5000 mAh, it's unparalleled in performance here. The Mate 20X's super cool cooling system with a vapor chamber and graphene film cooling technology will allow the Kirin 980 chip to work to its maximum efficiency and prolong battery life. It's an overall insane gaming device as well as an excellent entertainment device due to its cinematic audio and video technology. It looks and feels phenomenal. You've got fast charge, the headphone jack is here, and room for a stylus if you want to be a boss all round. The Huawei Mate 20X is amazing. Okay guys, share your thoughts. Is the Huawei Mate 20 series altogether the best smartphones from 2018? And which would you buy, the Mate 20X or the Mate 20 Pro? Hit me up in the comment section below. I'm genuinely looking forward to your responses on this one, and keep an eye out for the comparison test. You'll want to see them. Thank you once again for coming through and showing your support, and thanks once again to Wonder Mobile for the one and only Huawei Mate 20X. As I said guys, I'll leave the link below. Tell them I sent you. Smash that thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and as always guys, hit the bell icon so you never miss an upload, and I'll catch you guys all on the next one.